that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. And you have my complete and total endorsement.
Okay, so the commander of the military that has assassinated 175 kids at a school gives Jake Paul his endorsement. So now, okay, look, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, probably angling some political move. But as long as people have undying allegiance to Israel, you're not going to get support anymore, Jake. I hope you know. The boomers are going to die off soon. They're the only ones. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. They're going to be clapping their hands and cheering for more wars in the Middle East because they think Judeo-Christian values are important. Gen Z overwhelmingly despises Israel, Jake. Logan, I don't think you understand how bad it is. The reason Mamdani won the election in New York is because he was anti-Zionist. The reason that James Fishback went from 2% polling to now 23 in the span of only a few months with only no major backing from any organization is because he's saying, let's put America first. Let's put Christ first. Because he's saying that I'd rather kiss the crucifix and I would never kiss the wall. That's the rhetoric that's going to gain a populist movement. Trump's 80 years old. People hate this war and people hate Israel. This is not the method. If you want to get political influence, this is not the method. Lots to get into, lots to talk about. Hope you guys are well. Hope your Ramadan's going well. Today is a odd night. Happy Lent to everybody. For the Christians, Goyim unite. GLM in the chat right now. Good to see everybody. Quick little roll call. Happy to be here. Had a good iftar. Ate a lot. You bully ass in it. No, I'm not. Lots to talk about. Major war updates from today. I see Faye, Clapped, Brad, what up? And on YouTube, Coco, Kari, PFF, FNF, Mir Kosh, Waves, what up? What up? So, major war updates today. Major war updates. It's, well, here's my predictions. My predictions for this war are this. So we're going to cover it. It's about 2 weeks in. Trump is claiming victory, as I said he would last night, but obviously nothing has been won. Nothing has really been accomplished. Iran is not free. He's claiming victory, but what did they do? My hair is really annoying me, bro. I need to get a haircut. I need to put a hat on. I don't like this. Yeah, there we go. Iran is gone. Well, no, it's not. Iran is still fighting back. Lebanon is getting bombed, and Iran is getting bombed heavily. It's not looking great. But Trump is claiming victory today. He was on stage with Jake Paul. And so I don't know if Jake Paul is going to be directing the Air Force next to Erica Kirk. I know Jake Paul somewhat well, sparred him before, nice guy. But amidst this war, he's on stage next to Trump. And Jake Paul is saying, God is with us. God is with us. Trump is with us and God is with us. And that language is just like, okay, are you giving the same powers to Trump that it's, anyway, it's just like the timing is not good, but you know, there you go. A YouTuber like Jake making it on that stage, I guess, is a win, but yeah, timing is off. And Trump is also declaring victory. But let's see what really was accomplished so far. And so nothing was accomplished. Israel's winning so far because U.S. And all their military bases, the CENTCOM and the GCC, it's all been bombed indiscriminately by Iran, which Israel also wants. They benefit from this too because Israel does not benefit from having America's involvement in the Middle East. I mean, they use this as a tool and as a colony, but if we are not in the Middle East and they can have control over those countries, then Israel becomes the world power instead of America. My predictions are Trump will deploy ground troops probably within the next several weeks. It's going to be a major disaster. And the reason he's going to do this is to save face because it has been a major, major disaster. And so to look like the big dog, to look like the big bully, you can't leave already. You've already committed so many resources into this war. You can't leave now. So it's pretty much a suicidal mission. And he will continue to claim victory as he already did today once the troops retreat. And so Iran's strategy of victory is just the fact that U.S. goes home. If U.S. leaves, Israel will win the majority of the chess pieces, but Iran takes a victory just by surviving. As long as the U.S. retreats, Iran can take a victory. And as long as they continue to control the Strait of Hormuz, which is controlling 20% of the world's oil and energy. And so the next steps will be that they will try to replace oil energy with nuclear energy, which you can see the tech billionaires like Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and others are investing money into this new form of energy so they don't need to rely on oil anymore. But if it's a ground invasion, which is, it seems like it's inevitable, I don't know if there's going to be a major draft like there was for Vietnam. But, and you already know how you have to react. It's they're not going to do it with the draft papers. And everybody has to rehearse. You already know. Goyim, go die for Israel. No! Practice, okay? Because it might come. I don't think so. If that does happen and ground troops go in, it's going to be a disaster. I think that the IRGC, I think these soldiers would slaughter. Unfortunately, rest in peace to the people. And I see, troops are dusting off their uniforms on TikTok saying, time to go back in, time to die for the Middle East, time to die for Israel in the Middle East. And I think it would be a major disaster because the helicopters would need to fly over the mountainous region of Iran. They need to fly down, and a lot of the soldiers are going to, unfortunately, be kept hostage. And Iran knows that terrain a lot better than Americans do. So it'd be, if Americans can't beat rice farmers in Vietnam, what makes you think that they're going to be able to defeat the Muslims in Iran? It's not going to happen. And they've made it clear as well that their next target, they just said it straight up. It's anti-Semitic when other people say it, but when they say it, if you say word for word what former prime minister is saying, that next they want to go bomb Turkey, and they're not even like trying to claim that it's for terrorists or it's because like Turkey has nukes. They're just saying, yeah, we just want to get rid of Turkey because that's our enemy. So, other major updates inside the Manosphere, the new Netflix documentary that I am in. They made me the intro and the trailer, and I am in the beginning of the documentary, and my section is later on. I watched it last night. I watched my part. I didn't watch the whole documentary. I didn't feel like watching an hour and a half of Manosphere slop. The red pill is cringe and gay, and it's over. It's over. It's all filled with scammers, grifters, LARPers, weirdos. It's just the biggest arena of the worst people on the internet, all getting involved to scam people and lie and sell out. So I've been saying this for 3 years, and even Louis Theroux brought it up in the documentary. I thought it was pretty good. It was well edited, but the reason why Netflix is a dying medium, and you could see that this is the old form, is because so much can change in a year and a half. Well, I think it was filmed a year ago, and a year ago, it's in the documentary. I had like a Trump hat in my house, and I'm gonna be honest, like my strategy at the time was like I was really trying to get unbanned. And so, yeah, I wish that wasn't in there, but I talk about how I was a Trump supporter and the timing is not good. But they did talk a lot about my reversion to Islam. They made it clear that I'm a Muslim now, and they showed footage of that, and I like that. So I thought it was overall a fair documentary. I don't think it was a major hippies. Thank you for the gifted sub, Frimix. I don't think it was that much of a hippie. So I think he believes that the Manosphere is filled with the toxic masculinity. I don't think he came in with a specific agenda besides the traditional soy liberal agenda that people talk about. But this sort of thing is very 2022, 2023. People don't care anymore. Can you shut the fuck up and stop texting me? I don't care who you are. I need to close this. People care about bone smashing and looks and maxing now. That's what people are interested in, right? The internet moves so fast that the whole idea of the Manosphere has graduated from, supercars and muscles and buy my course to bone smashing. That's what it is now. Looks maxing and gesture gooning, frame mogging. That's what it has inevitably turned into. So if you don't get out the content immediately, the trends of the internet move so quick that you're going to miss out. So one, I don't think people even care about the Manosphere. Two, the people that should have been in the documentary aren't in there. What would have been really interesting is if Clavicular was in that documentary, way more people would be interested. But of course, they filmed it a year ago, and it has to go through editors, and they have producers, and they have blah, 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 and executive, and Netflix needs to review, and they need to promo it. By the time it comes out, it's kind of old news. But my part was good. And, there wasn't any real slander on me. I like that. And in the end, they even specified they put a graphics card, a graphic panel. At the end of rom-com movies or, feel-good movies or whatever, those 80s movies, at the end, they'll be like, where the characters are today. You know, it's like, Harry is now married and with 3 kids. The bad guy is dead and everybody hates him. Lindsay ended up getting the job. They did that at the end of the documentary. I didn't see it because I kind of skipped around. But someone sent me a photo, and it's like, SNEAKO has now been unbanned on YouTube and has regained 2 million followers immediately. 2 million. They mentioned that I got unbanned. And in the documentary, even though it's called Inside the Manosphere, Louis Theroux asked me, he's like, you're not really even part of the Manosphere. And I'm sitting right here. Yeah, this, you can see all the trash behind me from the food. I'm sitting right here, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not part of the Manosphere. It's cringe and stupid. And even a year goes on, and I give credit to people that are now calling me gay. You know, I gave credit to Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate with his tech teams in Israel, who are now putting a coordinated attack to call me gay. And, you know, people are saying that you should debunk these allegations. You know, I did cover it the past 2 streams. We can move on from this now. I think people understand. But to really point out how stupid this is and why I just see it almost unnecessary to mention, because, okay, so Andrew Tate is saying that I tried to human traffic him in Romania. Can you believe it? That's his big expose. I could ruin his career. His big expose is that I tried to human traffic him in Romania. All right. Does that even need to be broken down about why that is stupid or just pathetic? If I tried to human traffic him in Romania, then why were you begging me to do a video in New York on stream at the Clubacross situation? Why would you shake my hand and say, there's no issue? What type of guy, like, doesn't, and even then, like, it's this weird thing where he invented this gay fantasy in his head and using that as slander and an attack. Not only, you know, amplifying doxing of my family, but then he invented this gay human trafficking fantasy in his head and put that out there. Like, who believes this? So he created this idea. It's like, this is why I don't talk to him. It's very sassy. It's like, I don't even want to be dragged into this conversation. What do you want me to say? Like, I didn't try to human traffic Andrew Tate. How am I supposed to debunk this? Are you going to provide evidence? He's obsessed with me. I'm not, bro, no one cares about you, the tech teams in Israel anymore. Okay, especially after you folded for the club situation. Like, people don't care. I was clearing my name. You wanted a podcast tour accusing me of being the worst in the world, allegedly. So yeah, of course I'm gonna clear it up. And then the other times I talked about it were when he took a gambling deal after saying that gambling was brain rot and that was part of the matrix. I'm like, yeah, this is wrong. I'm not insulting the guy. It's like, this is clearly wrong. And for the people that are going to fall for these lies, I want to speak up about it. When he's lying about attacks that are happening in England, pushed by Epstein people, Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, who Epstein said was a cheap at any price. This guy is amplifying false attacks, you know, pushing the propaganda that Muslims are terrorists. And this propaganda is used to justify war. So I'm going to call this out. I side with the Ummah. Of course, I'm going to call out this falsehood. Because riots happen afterwards and people are getting attacked. Of course I'm going to speak up about this. He's acting as if like I'm insulting him out of a human trafficking obsession. No. Like, bring it up. Bring up what I was calling about. And then the Venezuela regime change, where he's waving around a gun, so talking about like Trump taking over the world. You're in Romania, and this is clearly for Israel. And I've been proven right. Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz, and they needed a new source of oil, which they got 2 months ago from Venezuela. This is so easy to point out. But I don't read. Yeah, I do read. I think this is important. And if you're going to make predictions about the world and analyze geopolitics, you do need to read. So, yeah, it's not like a human trafficking obsession. It's you're getting things really wrong on a very major scale, and it needs to be corrected. That's it. So, the documentary was overall good. Myron is also in it. Justin Waller is in it. It's too bad Sonny Faz recorded for that documentary, but they cut him out. Poor Sonny. Poor Sonny. Well, maybe it was good. I don't know if he liked his interview, but he did not make the cut. But W Sonny. What else was in there? It was that British guy, the HS. It really focused on HS and Justin Waller because they do embody the idea that Louis Theroux has of the Manosphere a lot more. You know, that 2022, you know, he really focused on the courses and making men masculine, this stuff, very, this is kind of ancient. The internet moves so fast. This is ancient ideas now, right? I think a lot of people kind of not only moved on, but did forget about this stuff. And so my part was just, at the time I was vlogging heavily. I was also streaming, but my main focus was the Project X vlogs. And he cut out a lot of the debates. Unfortunately, I didn't even record any of my own stuff for safety. I just, which is a little bit charitable. Maybe I should have. But we had a major debate about Gorlock the Destroyer and transgenderism, and he cut it all out. Cut it all out. I crushed him. Like every debate that we had, me and Louis Theroux, I crushed him. And I would like to see that footage, Louis Theroux. If you could send it to me so I could upload it, that'd be great. He's probably not going to. He's not going to. But I would like to. You have those deleted scenes. That'd be good content if you did think you won those debates. But let's be real. You know why you cut it out. And the other thing that he tried to get me on was he was trying to insinuate, thank you for the 5 gifts of bleak, was that I am a crazy conspiracy theorist. So we're going around in New York City, and I'm talking about the hadith where it says that near the end of times, women will dress as if they're clothed, but be really naked. And you can see this everywhere. And so it's like, this is insane conspiracy. But what's funny is like how quickly the internet moves on, especially when I said that Satanists control the world. He's like, that's insane. That's insane. Since that documentary was filmed, the Epstein files have been released. Not all of them, not even close to all of them, less than probably 10, 20%. And from those files, it's very clear who controls the world. We know exactly who controls the world. You're a conspiracy theorist until a month passes and then you're vindicated. So it did not age well from the time it was filmed. People understand that I'm right. And I don't think there was a bad moment in the documentary for me. Although I'm not proud of the, saying that I used to be a Trump supporter. Not ideal. But everything else was good. And I like that they didn't really, they didn't spend time to slander. And in fact, this hit piece slander comes a lot more from, the most that it ever comes from anywhere on the internet is from the Manosphere. The people that attack me the most it's not the liberals. It's like not even the Zionists paying probably like people in the Manosphere to slander my name and to use their tech teams in Israel to destroy my credibility. Funny how that works is that they pay me as, part of the Manosphere, but those are the people that are trying to ruin my life. But they're not going to be able to. We're still here. We're still kicking it. Live every day. Glad to be here. And so let's cover some major things from the war. It's someone in the chat said, what's the difference between conspiracy theory and the truth? About 6 months. Yeah, pretty much. About 6 months. There was a really funny moment from Ed Maddie where he asked him, who controls the world? And Ed Maddie's like looking here and he goes, the Jews. And so at the time I really wanted to get him banned, and I knew why I got banned. So I was kind of, when they brought it up, like I think he asked me straight up, because I go in public and I meet, like there's a bunch of fans. There's like 8 kids that came up and they swarmed me. It's all in the documentary. They blur their faces, but you can see. And they're like, why is SNEAKO controversial? And one of them says, the Jews. And Louis Theroux straight up asked me, do you hate Jews? And I'm like, no, I love everyone, which is true. I love everyone. I don't like evil ideology, but I love everyone. So I was very careful at the time. I'm like, okay, if this is this is a mainstream media coming in, you know what they're going to want to say, you know what they're going to try to do. Let's play this the right way. This is a PR game. And I think it went well. So you can go see that. You can go see that. Let's cover the stuff from today. There's lots to major day, as it always has been recently. Major day. Justin, Germany's foreign minister says Iran's main political goal is to eliminate the state of Israel. The audio's not working. Let's see. Speaker. Oh, it's muted. That's why.
Iran is opposing not only to Israel, but to the whole region here and also to Europe. I said that before. It is, of course, that they still are following a program which could lead them to possess nuclear, which is, of course, a threat for the whole world, not only to Israel or to Germany.
These people are completely tone deaf. Does he not realize that 90% of the world hates Israel? Like, they think that they're doing, they think that they're spreading the correct information to get people on their side. Okay, Iran, their main political goal is to eliminate the state of Israel, which one is not true, but two, it's like, easy. I don't think they understand that most people see this and like, oh, that's dope. And I tweeted last night that this might be the first war in American history where the majority of the country wants America to lose. And not meaning that we want the American empire to be destroyed. We want Trump to retreat because Iran surviving is them victorious. They can claim victory if America, the world's greatest empire, the strongest military in the world, loses against one country without support, a couple of schizo Muslims ready to die for their cause. I think this is the first time where everyone's seeing this. And especially if the German foreign minister is saying that their political goal is to eliminate Israel. And we're seeing that Goyim are united on this issue. We're sick of the infiltration. And yeah, I love America, but yeah, I'm not rooting for Trump in this war. Are you kidding me? I'm not rooting for the military. I want the troops to survive. I want them to stay home. If you're rooting for them to win, you're really rooting for Israel. I want Trump's legacy to show that he lost this war. And unfortunately, that's going to mean the decline of American global economy, and it's not going to fare well for this country. But I mean, what's the other solution? And I don't know. I mean, Vietnam is maybe an example, but I think at the beginning, a lot of people were in support of Vietnam, and it was a very 50-50. It was like Vietnam War is very comparable to Iran War. They were saying it was the hippies that were against the war and that they were communist supporters. Oh my God, why do people talk to me? I don't want you to ever speak to me. Why are you messaging me? I don't like you. Who's that? How do I get rid of that?
They are on a way with their ballistic missile program to possess really a huge amount of these weapons, which are threatening all of us, and so on and so on. And they are still feeding and commanding, as we see with Hezbollah, these groups which are attacking Israel, Hezbollah, Houthis, and Hamas as well. So this is still the case. And if they were ready for a diplomatic solution, it is achievable. But per now, this is what we hear from Tehran, they are not ready for a diplomatic solution. And as long as this is not the case, we still have to wait. We have always to be ready. I was leading together with my colleagues from
Okay, and here's the stupid stuff that comes in the chat every day. SNEAKO, why don't you go to Iran and get blown up like all the Sands are about to? Every day, some stupid... Oh, he's saying every towel? Okay, yeah, just get banned. Why don't you go get bombed if you like it?
The United Kingdom and France, the conversations about the snapback mechanism. It was already
SNEAKO,
about
you're
exactly
a real one. Inshallah, we meet one day. You stuck to your guns. Fuck Israel.
Fuck Israel. Thank you so much.
These issues. And the result was there was no readiness on the Iranian side.
Yeah, people, the administration is tone deaf, and they're starting to mention. I'm going to speak about that incident on the boat and the other. And this guy Shabbos Gessenbaum that mentioned me on stage. But here's that from the end of the Netflix documentary. SNEAKO has been unbanned on YouTube. He instantly regained 2 million followers. It is like that movie scene. Harry got the job. Lindsay finally broke free and became the marketing research director of the Goyslop graphic design company. SNEAKO has been unbanned. Let's go. Let's go. And here's for the people, like for that idiot in the chat. Why don't you just go to Iran and get like the sand people towel? Here's the New York Times. Breaking news. The U.S. was responsible for a missile strike on an Iranian school. An ongoing military investigation found. The inquiry said the strike, which Iranian officials said it killed at least 175 people, was the result of a targeting missile. So anybody still defending this, we now have proof, enough proof to determine that the American military intentionally struck a school with a Tomahawk missile that is unique to the American military, something that the IDF doesn't use and the RIGC doesn't use. It's only used by the Australian military and the Dutch military, but nobody thinks it's them. And according to this report, the military investigation found out who it was. So if you're in support of this war, then you're in support of assassinating children going to school. And Iran's not free. It's nothing was accomplished so far. And again, remember what these people said. They denied. Trump and Hegseth were on the Air Force One saying that it was probably Iran responsible for this missile strike. They said it was Iran's missile. And they said, wait, no, Tomahawks are American military. It's American military equipment. And they're like, oh, they probably stole the missile and then bombed their own school with it. You see how stupid it goes? And now we find out. But they're probably not going to be, they're not going to face international crime. I mean, at this point, Trump should just be impeached. Trump needs to be impeached. He needs to get out. He's flirting with the idea of nukes. He wants to bring U.S. ground troops. Lindsey Graham wants to send your sons and daughters from South Carolina into this war. These people need to get out. They need to get out. And the fact that there's not mass protests for this going on is incredible, bro. The whole country lighting police stations and no police zones for George Floyd. And then we have this war where now we find out that the military is responsible for assassinating 175 children for no reason and the medics. Some of the most heinous crimes we've seen. It's like almost worse than what the IDF was doing to the people of Gaza. It's like, why are people not protesting this stuff? Why is there no protest for the Epstein files? Our motivations are so clearly backwards. Here's Jake Paul endorsing Trump.
God is with us. I know he wants us on the right side of history. And everyone here has to do their part. And God's got us. Trump's got us. God bless.
God's got us. Trump's got us. It's like you're putting Trump and God in the same sentence when it comes to their power. It's man, Jake, I got no problem with Jake Paul, but the timing is brutal. Jake, you should know that this war is a disaster. Everybody is completely against this. I know, like, what? You probably want some political influence, but is it really worth it? Is it really worth doing this right now to give him support? We just found out that they killed 175 schoolgirls intentionally. And now is the time. It's not going to... Look, I like Jake, and I'm just saying this as a word of advice. This is not going to fare well. It's not going to be beneficial for you. People are going to call you a sellout for doing this. It's the most unpopular time in the history of Trump's life. It's the most unpopular war that America's been in recent history. Everybody's against this. The only people that really want this are straight up paid by Mossad. Or they're just stupid. Or it's just like, thank you, Bibi. Thank you, Trump. The Western Iranian diaspora who just doesn't know better because they prefer OnlyFans to hijabs. That's as far as it goes. So, Jake, what else did he say?
Love you, Kentucky.
Funny, too, that he's wearing a tan suit. You remember Obama's biggest scandal was wearing a tan suit? The biggest thing that they had against Obama, the GOP, was that he wore a tan suit.
No, he's a great guy. He's a courageous guy and a talented guy. He's a hell of a fighter, too, by the way. And I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction.
And notice how it's all boomers in the background. Yeah, it's some grandson, the grandchildren of these boomers, but it's all boomers completely brainwashed by the evangelicals and the megachurch and Erica Kirk propaganda. This is the only base left.
Prediction that you will be, in the not too distant future, running for political office. Okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement.
Okay, so the commander of the military that has assassinated 175 kids at a school gives Jake Paul his endorsement. So now, okay, look, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, probably angling some political move. But as long as people have undying allegiance to Israel, you're not going to get support anymore, Jake. I hope you know. The boomers are going to die off soon. They're the only ones. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. They're going to be clapping their hands and cheering for more wars in the Middle East because they think Judeo-Christian values are important. Gen Z overwhelmingly despises Israel, Jake. Logan, I don't think you understand how bad it is. The reason Mamdani won the election in New York is because he was anti-Zionist. The reason that James Fishback went from 2% polling to now 23 in the span of only a few months, with only no major backing from any organization, is because he's saying, let's put America first. Let's put Christ first. Because he's saying that I'd rather kiss the crucifix and I would never kiss the wall. That's the rhetoric that's going to gain a populist movement. Trump's 80 years old. People hate this war and people hate Israel. This is not the method. If you want to get political influence, this is not the method.
Okay. No, that's what we want. He's an incredible guy. A lot of courage and smarts.
God is with us.
God is with us. Trump is with us. Okay. So let's see. This is Trump showing off his cardboard Ayatollah.
And it's very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Wow.
And it's very cool.
Completely tone deaf. Okay, what's the community note? This video's edited.
SNEAKO search this please. Louis McLeod Trump mimicking.
Brother! After, put in the Discord. Or in the Twitter com. There's no image of Iran's supreme leader visible. Yeah, I know, but just still. Regardless, obviously it is edited. It's a clip. Like, everything on Twitter is edited. Literally every single clip. It's clipped from something greater. The tone-deaf nature of this administration right now is still apparent from here. But look at his dance. Look at the dance. Look at the dance goal. He's doing, he's moving. There's no more aura. There's just, you can see, this used to have a bit of aura. It's just, through the screen, it's palpable how depleted he is. And you could tell he knows what people think. And I wish that Louis Theroux included that too, that I have completely distanced myself and I've been extremely critical of Trump. I wish that was in the documentary, not ideal. But I think the majority of people do know that if they've seen a second of my content from the past year. Have you ever seen this dance have so little aura? Like, never. Yeah, don't look at the war. And it's so tone deaf because troops are dying. Not just the children that they found were assassinated by the American military, but U.S. troops. Lindsey Graham is saying he wants to send troops to die for Israel. And here they are. Here's the commander-in-chief dancing while troops die. Like, do you see how ridiculous this is? How dystopian it is? It's nasty work. But here's the new Shah. Patrick Bet-David is the new Shah. What is he saying?
همیهنان عزیزم ما اکنون در مراحل بسیار حساسی از مبارزه نهاییمون قرار گرفته ایم. از شما میخواهم که در اسرع وقت لوازم لازم رو تهیه بکنید.
I know this is edited a little bit, but can you have picked a guy with a smaller nose, bro? Well, everybody is starting to become antiseptic like you're accusing people of. You're going to pick the new Shah to be this guy ruling Iran from Virginia with the honker the size of Ben Shapiro's tunnels. Bro, this looks like, it looks like the size of a Tomahawk missile. This guy couldn't get a nose job before you selected him as the Shah. A little plastic surgery. You couldn't bone smash it down a little bit. Don't make fun of people's appearance. Okay, well, I'm going to, I think it's gloves off and I'm going to make fun of people's appearance. That must have been someone in the chat with a huge nose too. That must, don't make fun of people's appearance. Dude, is that you typing? Bro, yeah, actually, no, I think it's completely gloves off and I will make fun of these people. Here's Ted Cruz. And this is important. This is proof that your brave work. Trolls in the chat. Going hard on X. You're doing great work. Listen to Ted.
I could tweet this morning, good morning. And hundreds of anti-Semitic responses would immediately fill my social media.
Let's go! Great work, gentlemen. Keep it coming. Don't give up yet. Push on. Forward, soldiers. We ride. till dawn. Keep it coming.
Turns out I've seen many times an image of myself in a bikini with the flag of Israel.
Your work does not go unnoticed, chat. That's you guys. That's the love speech effect. We see you, we appreciate you, and you are really doing the Lord's work. That's what I'm talking about.
I could tweet this morning.
Well done. But that, amidst all this, that did put a smile on my face. Ted Cruz also said something I was really happy about. Ted Cruz is super based. Look what he tweeted earlier. This is not edited. This is not AI. Ted Cruz tweets, Zionist thugs is code word for Jews. Let's go. Ted Cruz, I thought you were a who didn't know the Iran population. When Tucker Carlson was asking, why do you want to go to war with a country where you don't even know the population? It's 92 million. You should know this. Why are you saying God must bless those that bless the state of Israel? I thought you were just a complete evangelical who's been blackmailed or brainwashed to support supremacists. Turns out, you know what's up.
Hail Hitler, Nico.
What? Hey! I had a great debate with Myron yesterday. I'll play this later. And also, this is a funny one. This is probably a 7K influencer, allegedly. I tweeted, Tel Aviv is starting to look just like Gaza. He says, does that mean Iran is committing a genocide? You know what that means? That means that he is essentially admitting that Israel has been committing a genocide. If Tel Aviv looks like Gaza and Iran is committing a genocide on Tel Aviv, then that means in his eyes, this stupid idiot. Oh, you stupid idiot. They always expose themselves. You could just let them talk themselves into a corner. Oh, so you're admitting that it was a genocide. Well done. Well done. Well done, non-goy. This is a real photo, by the way. I've been, getting a shoulder pump, making sure I'm ready to go. Actually, you know what? Let me just play this debate clip now. So I debated Myron and his brother. Shout out to Riyadh Foodle yesterday. Got to get his number, speak to him. Good guy. And I finally got to debate them on the Times Square prayer. So Myron more than his brother, but they're both against that Times Square prayer. They're very upset. Mostly Myron, who's a spike in cortisol. And, let's see here if I have a valid point.
But like, you're coming from a biased perspective, which is why you have this position, which is fine.
Well,
I'm just telling you that.
I'm coming from, well, you said Islam was, I'm coming from the truth perspective, aren't I?
Okay, but you don't have to go ahead and express the truth in that way because it's more counterproductive than productive. Was
okay,
what I'm
but
trying to say.
you wear the Cookie Monster hoodie, which is like talking about it's talking about the Holocaust, right? And you want to be uncompromised and show this everywhere and not live in fear. That's the same thing here with the greater truth that
Islam whatsoever to this conference. That's not analogous whatsoever.
Okay, there's so much propaganda. You're not supposed to talk about the Holocaust or question the numbers. You say, I'm going to do it anyway. It's the same thing. There's propaganda about this conversation. It's propaganda about Muslims. I'm not going to live in fear and I'm going to speak the truth. You believe that this is the truth about the Holocaust. It's you wear it unapologetically. I'm an unapologetic Muslim. I'm not ashamed. So I'm going to pray. It's the same thing as the Cookie Monster hoodie.
No one's saying anything about praying, bro. It's about praying at Times Square and filming it and making it a spectacle is retarded.
So then why do you wear the Cookie Monster hoodie?
Wearing a t-shirt is not the same as praying at a culturally irrelevant.
But why do you wear it? Why do you wear it?
That's not analogous whatsoever, bro. Are you serious right now?
Let's hear the reason.
This is not analogous.
No, Myron is not this. Myron's a good guy, but he got this wrong. And so his argument is that people shouldn't pray in public because there's going to be Zionists upset and they're going to push propaganda about it. Okay, what he doesn't seem to realize is that he was probably one of the biggest people pushing that hate 2 years in a row. So if we are going to spread the truth unapologetically, especially, okay, we're supposed to obey the law and we're supposed to follow it Islamically. Praying is good. Praying is undeniably good. That's a place where there's gay pride parades, there's protests all the time. It's just a place of complete degeneracy. So we're praying there. Praying is objectively good. The fact that people are unjustly upset about it proves that we should do it anyway. If they're wrong to be upset about something that's objectively good and not illegal, then we have all the right to do it. And the only thing that we're going to get pushback from is from influencers online and Hezbollah propaganda. So I'm going to do it. And I brought up the comparison to the Cookie Monster hoodie because it's the same ideology, right? We should not compromise with the truth. Everybody in this panel here, we all believe Islam is the truth. We do not compromise. If we know it to be the truth, then there shouldn't be any suppression of it.
Whatsoever, at all. What? Like, this has nothing to do with it. This is another deflection, another goalpost movement like you've been doing.
Someone in the chat said, and here's the other argument. He said Christians aren't allowed to do this in Muslim countries, retard. Well, here's the thing, stupid idiot, is that we have freedom of religion in this country. Not only do we have freedom of religion, but Americans pride themselves on having freedom. That's why Americans say that we need to spread democracy in the Middle East, because they don't have the freedom that we have in America. So if you were going to die on the hill that America is a free place where everything is allowed, freedom, freedom, democracy, then when we pray in Times Square, you need to support it. Because not only is that better than the other freedoms that you see when there's gay pride parades, well, if other countries don't have freedoms, that's why you say America's the greatest country, because we do have freedom. Dipshit.
Oh,
it's not proof. No, just answer the question. Just answer the question.
Proof that you can't the UAE. I show you proof. Oh, well, okay, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's not legal.
Okay.
Bro, like, yo, you keep moving the goalpost. It's not
I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm asking you, why do you wear the Cookie Monster hoodie? It's a simple question.
God, man.
You can't answer this?
Bro, I wear the hoodie because it's fucking hilarious.
Someone in the chat said flaunting prayer is bad behavior. No, it's not flaunting prayer. And let's go back to the companions. Abu Bakr, when he was praying in Mecca, when it was predominantly pagan, he prayed in public anyway, knowing that people were going to be upset because Islam was the truth and he didn't compromise. So if we're going to follow the companions, the people that spread Islam at the original time when Islam was created, the best friend, Abu Bakr of Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah, Mecca was predominantly pagan. They were worshiping all of these different weather gods, Hindu gods, demon gods, false gods. And he prayed in public in Mecca amidst all that hate. Let's follow the companions, huh? Why?
That is why.
Why is it hilarious?
It's hilarious. Because people get triggered over a hoodie, right? It's fucking hilarious.
Okay.
And we know that topic, they lie about it.
Okay. Oh, just like they lie about Muslims. Oh, so you're fighting back against propaganda. Oh, it triggers people for a reason that's unjustified, just like praying when it's legal and Islamically correct too. So fighting back against propaganda, living without fear, not being ashamed is something that's good. Just like a Cookie Monster hoodie.
Dude, are you seriously trying to compare wearing a t-shirt to a mass prayer in a culturally significant location?
What's the difference?
As a minority religion in a Christian country? Are you serious right now?
What's the difference?
This was a brain dead example. Like, this has nothing to do. Like, you're comparing.
Explain. What's the difference? It's not a brain dead example. It's the whole idea of the manosphere, the red pill, speaking the truth. Because we're on the side where we're facing so much censorship. People are against us. People want to destroy our financial capabilities, our platforms. Okay, that's the same people that are really against the Times Square prayer. So I'm going to do it anyway. It's fighting back. We should support that. Wait, hold on. What's the difference? What's the difference?
You're comparing wearing a hoodie to praying in a culturally central location in a mass prayer with cameras on versus me wearing a hoodie.
What's the difference? There's cameras on when you wear it to brand there's cameras everywhere. There's switch cameras everywhere.
The hoodie is symbolic. It's just him wearing something that he may believe in, but like the prayer is something physical you're actually doing.
Something that we believe in. I believe in Islam. It's representing my beliefs, right? What's the difference?
Yeah, but you're representing your beliefs on a t-shirt. That's not analogous. It's kind of a non sequitur because representing your religious belief on a t-shirt is different than actually physically doing it in a place that doesn't represent it. That's like kind of, I'm just saying that's
okay.
Like,
I mean, when you wear the Cookie Monster shirt in public, this is where it's taboo to question these numbers. It's taboo and it's ashamed and there's propaganda. It's exerting your belief system in a place where the majority of the Judeo-Christian country doesn't believe in these numbers. What's the difference?
Dude, are you fucking serious? It's an insider joke on a meme, bro. You are talking about praying openly with cameras on at Times Square. Are you serious right now?
Let's break it down further. I know you can do this so without getting angry.
Okay. Insider joke. No, because I'm not getting angry.
Hold on. What's the joke based off?
You're being dense purposely.
Oh, no.
Wearing a t-shirt with a meme, wearing a t-shirt with an insider meme that isn't visibly apparent is not the same at all.
It is visibly apparent.
Openly pray. No, only, dude, you really, if 100 people walk by me, maybe 1 or 2 will know where the joke comes from. Meanwhile, if 1,000 people walk by fucking Times Square, they're going to know there's a bunch of Muslims praying here. It's not the same whatsoever at all.
I mean, I don't know. That's a little facetious. I think people understand what it is. People know the Cookie Monster meme.
Insider joke t-shirt versus praying at Times Square with cameras on with 200.
Myron, what is the joke of the t-shirt? What's the joke? The joke is that you're not supposed to question the numbers of the Holocaust because that was used as the pretext for so many wars and to push the ideas that people are victims. And this is why people in Israel, they get away with so much because they always point back to this. And so it's fighting back against that propaganda. The principle is even more important. If you're going to say that you can't make that analogy, it's the principle. You say I can't talk about this, I'm going to do it anyway. You say that prayer is evil and it shouldn't happen in Times Square. It's not, and I'm going to do it anyway. It's the principle. Fight back. You're gonna face bomb. Just explain, bro. Explain it in YouTube friendly language. Come on, don't run from the question. Explain it in YouTube friendly language.
No, I can explain it. I'm on YouTube. It's referring to a historical event in world.
Okay, go.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. We all know what it's about. It's explaining to a historical event in World War II.
Okay. What is? Someone in the chat said it's offensive. It's offensive, and you're wrong. Okay. Why is praying offensive? And this is the issue. If you are offended by prayer, you are wrong. If you are offended by people praying to the Father that even the Catholic Church admits, if we are in a Christian country, look at Nostra Aetate, if I'm pronouncing it right. The Catholic Church says that Muslims worship the Father alone. If you are offended by people submitting themselves before God, you are wrong. And I'm not going to change because you get offended by something for no specific reason, for no legitimate reason. I am not going to compromise because you get your feelings hurt and you get your panties in a bunch over something that you're wrong about. Oh, you get offended? So? Well, how is that my problem? Get mad. The joke.
About the ovens, the number count. What are you? I'm
the joke
is. I would be explicit. I'm on YouTube. That's why I don't want to get.
I'll explain it in YouTube friendly language because you don't want to answer okay, fine. The joke is that
I'll answer.
Another chat. This is funny. You said it's not offensive, but it adds unnecessary fuel to the Islam takeover fire. But Muslims aren't taking over America, so they're also false. The point is, I am not going to compromise based off of falsehood. You understand that? Because Muslims are not taking over America. 1% of the population. The most targeted group. The group where there's the most amount of propaganda about. Because they say this, yeah, but they're wrong. So why live in their lie? That's living in fear. That's letting them control you. That's the matrix. They are pushing an agenda that's false, and you are submitting and allowing yourself to live in it out of fear. Fuck them.
See it if you explain it correctly. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm saying it in user-friendly language. The Cookie Monster hoodie is a joke about the numbers that are enforced about the Holocaust, right? And this is a narrative that's been pushed so much in America, that's been used to justify wars, that's been used to push ideas of anti-Semitism. It's part of the major propaganda machine, correct?
Okay.
Coming from the same people who also push propaganda on Muslims. This is a joke. And the reason that Myron wears it is to assert that in a Judeo-Christian country where so much Zionist propaganda is being pushed, I am going to be unashamed and I am not going to live in fear and I'm going to say the truth anyway, even if it makes people upset. Even when there's cameras on, when there's a lot of Twitch streamers around. I don't care if there's going to be outrage and people are going to call me a denier or a questioner. I'm going to not live in fear and do it anyway.
Okay.
That's exactly the same mentality as the Times Square prayer. Exactly the same.
Nico, here's the difference why you're wrong. I'm doing it in a covert, tactical, and funny manner that is not necessarily as obvious. Meanwhile, you're praying in Times Square.
Covert.
Like, bro,
when you wore that shirt. Okay, so you're saying it's covert because you're existing within that fear, which I honestly don't think that's true. I think it does. Myron is it is an example of courage. I wouldn't wear the Cookie Monster shirt because I just think it's I don't see it necessary. But you can understand how people consider that a courageous act. So if you're saying that you're doing it for covert reasons, it's because you still think that it's still admitting that there's a level of control that you don't want to offend. But that's the whole point. You fight back against them. You understand? Exojackophobic.
To say this example is so fucking stupid because it's not analogous whatsoever. I'm doing a covert insider joke. Meanwhile, y'all are praying openly in Times Square.
It's not covert.
Not the same at all.
It's not covert. When you wore the Exojackophobic.
Hold on, people know you're getting joke, bro. How many people know the Cookie Monster joke? Are you serious, bro?
Okay, I'm gonna point it out. You're not letting me answer.
Yeah, but even if it wasn't covert, if he had a hoodie that was explicit about it, let's say the hoodie was just straight up, that doesn't even respond to the whole point is praying publicly is a physical action that's actually like materialized. Like people can see that, people can hear that, people can interact with that, people can feel that. If Myron went out in public and did some sort of like joke where he got a bunch of people and like put them in a room and then had them come out coughing or some shit, then that would be the same thing. But like a shirt that just symbolically shows some symbolism that refers to a historical event. historical event, yes, it is pushback against a voice that's against him, but it's not doing it. It's not doing it in an imposing manner.
Okay,
That's the
fair.
difference.
So you say
praying is a little bit more imposing.
So it's more undercover, right? I remember at Turning Point, Myron was wearing that hoodie in a place of where everybody believes in Judeo-Christian values, and this is being pushed. And he's like, I'm going to go and do this anyway, even though people don't agree.
I wouldn't even go as far as to say that, but go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead. I wouldn't even.
Majority of people at Turning Point is a Judeo-Christian organization where GOP politics, Judeo-Christian values are being pushed heavily. Everybody knows this, right? This is why Erica Kirk is talking about anti-Semitism, and people there get really upset. He wears the shirt and takes a picture next to Jack Posobiec. It goes viral. Why is Jack Posobiec next to this anti-Semite? Why is this allowed at Turning Point? Why is this here? And it's like a symbol. Everyone, oh yeah, I don't care what's going on. I'm going to do it anyway. People do know what the joke is. Everybody, you can take 5 seconds to Google it.
But hang on.
Everybody knows the joke. And then also, SNEAKO, tell the whole story. Who made it go viral?
Other people, the Zionists, right? Just like the Times Square prayer.
Stop anti-Semitism, aka a very nuanced and small account that said, "Oh, it's within the Jews." And then what they do is, because we know that they do this, they pushed it out. They said, "Everybody share this. Everybody share this." It was within that group of people only. Versus if when you're praying at Times Square, everybody sees that shit.
But who's pushing the propaganda against it, and who's the vehicle? Who's the one demonizing Muslims the most? The same people mad about that shirt. They're the ones pushing Judeo-Christian values. They're the ones spreading that everywhere. And then you did echo their sentiment, but this is coming from the Laura Loomer Jigsaw people and coming from all the same talking heads that got mad at the hoodie.
SNEAKO, it sounds good on the surface, but the intricacies make it non-analogous. Because
go see Kanye take some shrooms and come back strong.
I said, nobody's taking shrooms. No need to do that. And everything's fine, bro. I'm good, man. Do I look phased?
Because again, it's not this action that he's actually doing in public to impose on people. And I'm not saying that's the intent of Muslims, but you got to realize too, Jews are a very small minority of the United States, yet they have a disproportionate amount of influence and control. So him doing that is a fight back against something that's actually oppressing him. I don't think Muslims are actually getting oppressed, and we're doing something physically.
You don't think Muslims are getting? Randy Fine is saying,
no, in the United States, okay.
I couldn't believe you said that. Saying that Muslims aren't oppressed. Look, Trump issued a Muslim travel ban, in his first term. You could see Randy Fine, they're trying to push legislation and saying that Muslims need to get deported. They're trying to stage false flag attacks on Muslims, right? There was a call to ban mosques in New York City after 9/11, and people now know about 9/11. Come on, of course. And people say, oh, this is a liberal talking point. This is yeah, it's not liberal. It's just true. Like, listen to what these people are saying about Muslims. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, has an anti-Muslim, anti-Christ tattoo on his arm. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm a victim. It's just the fact that the biggest enemy of the Zionist regime, of this Judeo-Christian value system, of Epstein regime, is the Muslims. Everybody knows this. Who else is it? Who else is the biggest enemy of the Epstein regime besides Muslims? Can someone tell me? Oh yeah, it is Muslims. And I think that's another reason why Islam is true. If we all understand and everybody here can agree that Epstein regime, the Zionist agenda, this is the most evil ideology, right? Everybody knows Muslims are their biggest target. I think that proves Islam is true. If the most evil ideology, and if everything is inverted, it shows this is the truth that they're suppressing the most. This is what they fear the most. If the most controlling ideology in the world is this Zionism, and the one they're trying to suppress the most is Islam, that means it's the most freeing. That means that is the escape. That if you find Islam, that is how you escape their control. That's what they demonize so much, because the evil ones hate what's good. That's proof that Islam is the truth. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar! And you're saying, like, oh, it's bad optics. I don't think so at all. Not the Middle East, but New York. SubhanAllah, just a promise. Islam will reach every household. Will reach the household. Not How about muted? How long was I muted? Oh, shit. Well, anyway, I was saying I'm not going to fold over the idea that it's asserting dominance when you're worshiping God. And here, these are Arab Christians praying in a Muslim country. Wow. Huh. There's a lot of Christians right here. Saying Christians aren't allowed to gather. Christians can't.
للسيدة العذراء ومحبة السيدة العذراء للأقباط نبدأ دورة الملكة ليلة عيدها مباركة.
I got called out. What? Some gore slap stuff? What?
Fighters. We don't care who the fuck the guy across from us is. We're gonna fight him. We're gonna throw hands, and we're gonna take that shit.
Yeah, I don't care. Who? Who the fuck is that guy? Who? Like, I don't care. Moving on. Someone called me out. For what? What'd he say? Oh yeah, some clout chaser wants to use my name for clout. Yeah, we think I'm gonna give this attention. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, some guy called you out. You think this is the first time this happened? This happens literally every second of every day. I don't care. Oh my god, he said he called you out. Yeah, he wants clout. Are you guys... Anyway. Former Prime Minister Naftali Bennett says Israel may have to wage a war against Turkey after Iran if it attempts to create any type of Islamic alliance. He says any Islamic alliance would automatically be considered and a threat to Israel. We will not sit idle.
Let me just ask you whether there's a risk of further confrontation with Turkey based on comments that you said in the past.
Well, we need to ensure that Erdogan doesn't create a new alliance of radical Islam Sunni version, meaning an axis between himself, Julani, Qatar, and Hamas. We've been facing for many decades the Shiite radical Islam, and I hope that Turkey doesn't choose to foment terror and Islamism in its power. It's up to Turkey ultimately. If they seek peace, we definitely want peace. But if they try and surround us with terror...
So listen closely, right? YouTube, I'm going to have to mince my words. Start coming over. Click kick.com/SNEAKO. It's pinned in the chat. Thank you for the 50. You said, let me tell you something. When the Pope visited the UAE, shut down schools and used school buses to allow students to visit the church. The Pope was that so? When Myron talks about the UAE, wouldn't allow it. Frankly, he talking out his ass. Yeah, I know. He brought up something, a statistic from Grok, or like some information from Grok. It's because you need to have a permit. You need to have a permit to pray in front of Burj Khalifa. The same reason we got a permit in Times Square. Okay, yeah, YouTube, coming over to Kick. I want to talk about what he just said here. So, former Prime Minister is saying what he fears is Sunni Shia unity. They want the Muslim Ummah to be divided. This is again why I say Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah, he did not say call yourself Hanafi, Shia, Sunni. I don't call myself any of this stuff. I'm not Wahhabi, none of that. I'm Muslim. When Muslims start understanding and saying this instead of dividing themselves in sects and we become unified, that's what the former Prime Minister is saying is the greatest threat to them. It's a threat to Israel. And they haven't even pushed out any propaganda yet. They're just spelling it out in front of you. So unite. And imagine how bad it would be for them, for Israel, if we all agree it's the most evil, if all united. Not just the Muslim Ummah and Sunnis and Shias got along, but if everybody united. YouTube coming over. Thanks for the donos and thanks for the support. Say YouTube raid if you just came over. Who's everyone? All the goals. If all the united. Then we'd be unstoppable. YouTube raid, welcome. Welcome to Kick. SNEAKO, when you gonna come to Kick? To deny what's going on and say that this war is not religious is false and is not an accurate depiction of what's happening. This is a holy war. This is not by biblical or, not following basic ideas of eschatology, but it is a war that they're using religion as the core fundamentals of why it's happening. It's an Epstein war.
And therefore, when they recruit fighters, what they are recruiting them for is to be a part of this army that is going to trigger this final showdown between the West and Islam, that Islam will win. And
the final showdown between the West and Islam. What the West is to people like Marco Rubio, Judeo-Christian, Israel, United States, joined together by Epstein's Island. That's the war. They're telling you it is. Believe them.
And the whole world will be governed under their set of rules, led by the emergence of the 12th Imam, the Mahdi, their messianic figure.
So they even know about the Mahdi, which will come before Isa alayhi salam. Isa is Jesus. Jesus is the Messiah. Mahdi is not the Messiah. Mahdi will unite the Muslim people. Right now you can see how divided we are. The Mahdi will come and lead us in battles like a commander of the armies. The Mahdi will come and unite because you can see all the sects divided, Sunni, Shia, all this stuff. The Mahdi is definitely what we need. And then Jesus will come, alayhi salam.
Why is this important for us to understand? And why is that important for the next Secretary of State to understand? Because when you understand it, you realize these are not people you can negotiate with. These are individuals with an apocalyptic vision of the future.
No, that's not true. No, actually, in order for the Jewish Messiah to come, they need world destruction. They want to destroy the third. Well, they want to enact the third temple by destroying Al-Aqsa Mosque. But here's from today. Trump is asked about those 175 children. Most of them young girls. His response, for what? I don't know about it. I don't know. That's fake. Those are fake children, fake bodies. John, thanks for the gift.
A new report says that the military investigation has found that the United States struck the school in Iran. As Commander-in-Chief, do you take responsibility for that?
That is what?
As Commander-in-Chief, do you...
For what?
For the strike on the school in Iran. A new report says the military investigation has found it was the United States that struck the school.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Iran probably did it. It was probably the Biden administration. It was the radical left that stole the Tomahawk and killed them. It was the Hunter Biden laptop. It was Russia colluding with the school, the fake school. The school's not real. These girls, are they even real? They're not real. The radical left, they bombed that school. Not me. I don't know.